Well, hello everybody. So I actually lied. My next video obviously is in Scotland. Obviously it's in the middle of the desert. I did some reconfiguring on my schedule and realized that I actually will be releasing something the day I get back from Scotland. And with school, work, and another endeavor that I'm working on right now, it wasn't going to be possible to edit everything and get it back out in time. So I'm doing a one-part series out here, kind of north of San Rafael Swell. It's in a recreation area in Utah, and I'm just gonna go out here and show off two locations that are kind of not so secret, but secret. And we're gonna enjoy, the beauty that nature is here. And then on top of it, I'm gonna employ a new type of recording for my videos. And we'll get some good shots. While we're out here though, we're gonna be looking at an old settlement that was out here, which I can see right now, and some Native American stuff. So what we're gonna do is head on down the trail. Since this intro is super long, let's enjoy some beautiful scenic views, get down to those two habitation sites, and we'll go from there. Let's enjoy this. Just gonna head down towards the river now, and then towards that old homestead that's no longer there. There's also no trail down all this, and we kind of make our own way down to there, and then there's a trail that follows the river, and then I have to cross the river to get over to the site, and then I got to cross the river again to get to where all the petroglyphs and the ruins are that I'm going to. Now I'm going to put you guys away. I'm going to figure out the best way I can to get down here without hurting myself. And then I'll say hello from down below. We'll go from there. Made it down the hill. Now I got to make it down some more hills. The wind's picking up, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to use my drone. It's like coming in big gusts. But we're going to head down to the river right now and try and throw it up. I actually see some more what looks like ruins for the old homestead out here, so I might be running around for a little bit, but let's continue on this fun little journey and head over there and see what we can find. Today would have been a great day to have trekking poles. Well, we met up with one of the many roads that are out here. I know I could have taken my truck closer, but I really wanted to get a few miles under my feet today to enjoy the outdoors and just, feel it under my feet. So I was just up there, I don't know, like 20 minutes ago. My truck is actually parked on the other side of that little white hump over there. Well, you can see I found the river again. Looks pretty deep. I don't know how I feel about crossing it. I think I found a spot up here that I can cross without getting too wet. So let's take a look once we get up here. It actually looks like it just disappears underground and then it comes back up out of the ground, which is just crazy. I know rivers can do that. This is insane. I'll show you. See, this is where the river's supposed to be. It's obviously flowing, so it's coming up out of the ground somewhere over here and moving that way. Well, that was a nice little view of the river area. And now we're gonna make our way up to the petroglyph site and then the ruins. So let's have some fun. Let's get up there. We made it to the first set of petroglyphs. I'm gonna scour some of these rocks all through here, and then I'm gonna show you these ones right in front of me and everywhere, and then we'll head up to the ruins like I said. So a little bit about this area is that they've attributed these petroglyphs to the Fremont people. Now the Fremont people lived about 1,000 to 2,000 years ago, somewhere in that era. They've attributed this area with the ruins and the petroglyphs because a lot of it is their style of petroglyphs, right? However, this also is the very edge of the Colorado Plateau and where the Anasazi, or the ancient ones, or also known as the ancestral Puebloans, lived. So the reason why I think it's kind of a mixture of those two cultures, the decline and the presence of the ancestral Puebloans showing up, is because you have ruins that look a lot like the ancestral Puebloan, which we'll get to later. And the Fremont culture built pit houses that were actually underground. So it's a little weird that, that this area isn't quite what the ancestral Puebloans would, settle in, like canyonlands and stuff like that. I mean, we are just a couple hours north of there. But this is also the edge of where the Fremont culture is, and also where the Ute then came out of, where the ancestral Puebloans decline. So this is kind of a little bit of a smelting pot. But I've rambled for about 2 minutes now, so let's go ahead and show all these petroglyphs. Here we go. First set of petroglyphs is what looks to be moccasins. Right here we have a figure of an animal. And then another petroglyph right there. There's a petroglyph that's been chipped away through erosion. Here are two initials, AG, whoever you are. Hopefully it's just Cowboy Graffiti. I mean, it's still not cool that they did it, but they didn't know any better back then. And then Mr. Brett Ivy from 1957. That's a person etched into the rock right there. When you're out here too, you got to be careful. Some of them are right on the rocks that you're going to be walking on. So it's always good to pay attention to where you're walking, because you never know what you're walking on. So right here we have a little bit more. It's a really cool elk back there. I'm not going to walk to it because we have some petroglyphs here and back in there. Right here we have some more. So this area is known really well for this. This is a little bit of a pictograph or a petroglyph right here. And then someone named Orson N. He was afraid to finish his name because he knew he'd get in trouble. Very faded petroglyphs right here. Back there, there's a little bit of a dog or an animal. There's one right there. Then there's this. And there's this beautiful petroglyph right here. It's gorgeous. Makes you wonder what they were trying to tell us about. Then there's what seems to be another moccasin in the midst of all of the graffiti and all the names of people who came here. Here's some more petroglyphs with Miss Colleen, who should be ashamed of herself. Now, this isn't going to be a shaming video, by the way. It's just sad to see what's happened to a lot of these petroglyphs. My guess is here is Cowboy Graffiti, DEF, December 23rd, 1914. Probably a cattle rancher, because that looks like a cow. So I just followed down the river a little bit to see if there was any other petroglyph sites. Which there wasn't. So the reason why I kind of harp a little bit on people to putting their graffiti out here, maybe not so much the cowboys, because I mean, well, some of them were bad to the people that were out here back then. They didn't know any better. They were protecting their assets just as much as the natives were. And growing pains happen. Now, I'm not saying that's okay what they did, but that's what happens when you have two different cultures clashing together. And my whole idea of coming out here is to document before the federal government or state government shuts down any more access than we already don't have. Because these sites are beautiful. It's a look into the past, into the people that lived here. And I want to document them before it's gone and we can't get out here anymore. It seems I walked right past this place. Didn't even see him. And this guy with a tail. And that right there is what I hate about modern day. Throwing a pot leaf into this area and then writing a whole bunch of nonsense. It's not acceptable. Let's head up to the ruins and then get some videos of that. I might throw up the drone to get a nice little aerial, and then we'll show off those things to you guys. This area is beautiful. And it makes you wonder, like, you know, why were they out here in the desert? But then again, 1,000 to 2,000 years ago, when these peoples were here, It's a very different landscape, probably more water, more food, and just makes you wonder why here. Anyways, we're gonna head on up. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear me with all the wind noise. Right down there is one of the few structures remaining out here from the Fremont people, so they claim. And right up here, it's one of the structures. It's in pretty bad shape. Since the photos I saw from a couple of years ago, there used to be a doorway right here. It seems like people have destroyed it, which is really sad. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me right here because of the wind, but there's a pit and then rocks surrounding it. This was the old site where there was a third building, which is no longer here. Here's the other building. Now that there's no wind, it's actually pretty windy up there. So you have one structure that's built into another. This was somebody's home close to 1,000 years ago. It's just crazy to look at something like this and know this was someone's front door and where they lived. And I'm walking where they did. And it's a reminder of how much times were simpler back then. So I'm just gonna throw up my drone, get some drone shots. But I don't think I'm gonna go over to the Cowboy site just because of how deep the river is. And there's nowhere to cross. So I'm not gonna go across it until it's lower later in the season. But yeah, let's just enjoy some views of this area and how beautiful it is. Well, hopefully today was fun. I know we didn't get to go to all the places that we wanted to, but we got to see some of it in the distance. It's unfortunate that the wind picked up, but at least we got Mr. Drone to get some good shots now. It's gonna be an amazing asset to have in the coming times whenever I'm making more and more videos. But the wind is picking up. My drone's dead. I'm feeling a little tired, and Just want to say, if you visit places like these, please leave them as is. Do not take anything, do not touch. If you find ruins, do not touch, leave them be, and show the respect that you would give to your own ancestors. But with that being said, thanks for following along, and we'll catch you on the next, which will be from Scotland. Oh, look what I just walked up on. That's a big animal. Okay, now goodbye.